It was the last hour of the night. Snow blanketed the streets of New Jersey, and a pale fog drifted across the sky. Ali Ahmed sat near the heater in his cramped apartment, sipping tea from a chipped coffee mug. The room was sparsely furnished, just an old sofa, a wooden table, and a framed photograph of his wife, Aisha, and their daughter, Hannah, who were still in Pakistan. For the past 6 years, Ali's life had circled the same routine: 2 jobs during the day, driving a taxi at night, and sending money home at the end of each month. The American dream had turned into a silent, exhausting grind. His phone lay on the table. Normally, at this hour, he would switch it off to avoid any interruptions to his brief window of rest. But tonight, for reasons he couldn't explain, he had left it on. Suddenly, the screen lit up. Unknown caller. Ali frowned and picked it up. "Hello." A deep, steady voice came through. "Is this Ali Ahmed?" Yes, it's me." "Who's calling?" "This is Officer Richard. We need to talk to you about an accident." Ali's heartbeat quickened. "Accident? What accident?" "It's about your daughter. Hannah Ahmed." The name froze him. "What, she's in Pakistan?" There was a pause, then the officer spoke again, slower this time. "Sir, this is going to be difficult to hear. Your wife and daughter arrived in the US last week. They came through an immigration lawyer." "But," Ali interrupted, his voice cracking, "what are you talking about? They never told me, they never." The officer drew in a breath. "Sir, last night there was a car accident. Your daughter, didn't she survive? And your wife is in the hospital. Her condition is critical." The phone grew heavy in Ali's hand. The room spun. His knees buckled, and the phone slipped from his fingers, hitting the floor with a dull thud. He kept repeating, almost in a whisper, "Hannah. Hannah." That night, Ali stood in the hospital corridor. The harsh white lights buzzed overhead. The air reeked of antiseptic. Somewhere down the hall, a heart monitor beeped steadily, each sound cutting deeper into him. A nurse approached. "You can go in now." Aisha lay on the bed, her face pale, a bandage wrapped around her forehead, tubes and wires tracing her body like a fragile web. Her eyes opened slowly, finding him through a haze of pain. "You came," she whispered. Ali pulled a chair close and sat beside her, his hands trembling. "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you call?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I wanted to surprise you. Hannah wanted to see America, to be with you for your birthday. The lawyer said it was all arranged." Her voice broke. "We were in a taxi from the airport, a drunk driver ran the light." "Hannah," she couldn't finish. Her shoulders shook, the sobs breaking through her stitches of composure. Ali took her hand, gripping it like a man holding onto the last piece of a sinking ship. His own tears fell, hot and helpless. Over the next days, the hospital became his world. Between paperwork, police statements, and endless hours by Aisha's bedside, Ali felt time blur. The city outside kept moving, traffic roared, snow melted, people hurried to work, but inside, his life had come to a standstill. The funeral was small. A handful of Ali's co-workers came, most of them immigrants like him, strangers bound together by the shared weight of loneliness and survival. He buried Hannah in a quiet cemetery on the outskirts of town, the winter wind cutting through his coat. When the coffin was lowered, Ali whispered, "You came to surprise me, my little girl, and you gave me the biggest shock of my life." His voice cracked. "Forgive me for not being there." Weeks later, Aisha was discharged, her body healing slowly, but her spirit still shattered. They moved into a slightly bigger apartment together. It was supposed to feel like a reunion, but the silence between them was filled with the echo of what had been lost. One night, as they sat on the couch, Aisha placed Hannah's small red scarf in his hands. "She wore this on the plane," she said softly. Ali held it against his face, breathing in the faint scent of her shampoo, and for the first time in weeks, he allowed himself to break a soundless, shattering grief that came from the deepest part of him. Life, in its merciless way, went on. Ali returned to work. Aisha found part-time shifts at a tailor shop. They learned to share the same grief, to lean on each other in moments when it threatened to crush them. But Ali never forgot the phone call. The one that, in less than a minute, split his life into two parts, before and after. Some nights, he'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, hearing that voice again, "We need to talk to you about an accident." And in those moments, he understood something that America had taught him in the hardest way possible, that life can change forever, not in years, not in months, but in a single ring of the phone.